So unless their last cards are Brimstone Volley plus Flare of Duplication, like the last card in hand plus the card they draw for turn, are those exact 2 cards, which, could happen. I think we're good. No! Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cryptid's Combo Corner. Today we're taking a spicy one through the Season 40 Kickoff. We've got Myr Retriever and Heartless Summoning. Heartless Summoning makes our Myr Retrievers free, also kills them so that we can loop them and get infinite death triggers. So that's kind of the core combo. Sibsig Ceremony costs 1 more mana, but does the same thing and gives us a zombie every time. However, infinite zombies, not always enough to win the game. So we have Weatherlight Compleated to draw our entire deck, Altar of the Brood to mill out our opponents, or Spymaster's Vault to connive however many cards we have left in our library. Another one of the trickier ways to leverage the death trigger is the Scrap Trawler. If we pair the Scrap Trawler with the Marketback Walker, this is another way to draw our entire deck. And then finally, we have Tutors for the combo pieces and Perilous Myr, which is a free shock if you have any of your cost reducers in play, and can also, in theory, infinitely loop for damage with the Scrap Trawler if you get enough of these trawlers on the field. So, without further ado, let's dive into the games and see if we can beat up Nadu. Alright, and here we are for round 1 of the Penny Dreadful Season 40 Kickoff. I'm going to mulligan this hand. We find a Heartless Summoning, we have a Marketback Walker to cycle, we have an Imperial Recruiter, we keep this. I think I'm going to put back second Summoning. Typically, game 1, the opponent's not going to have any ways to interact with our Heartless Summoning. And as Mono Red, they definitely don't have any ways to interact with our Heartless Summoning. Okay, Weatherlight Completed is a very interesting draw here. I think I'm still going to jam the Summoning on 2. Other options include casting the Marketback Walker as a blocker. We'll see what they do. We are 1 Myr Retriever or Myr Retriever Finder short of winning. So I think likely what I'll do next turn is cast the Heartless Summoning and cycle the Marketback Walker. Could also be good to just hold it until we get the Weatherlight Completed down. Oh, with that draw, this is the easiest Heartless Summoning I've ever cast. Because we get to go Heartless Summoning, Perilous Myr, deal 2 damage to the Falconwrath Pitfighter, just to kind of stem the bleeding a little bit. I could wait until next turn to be able to scry with this Weatherlight Completed, but I think it's okay. I would rather have 2 additional life to play with instead of a single scry 1. Opponent is thinking, okay, this pause tells me that they probably have Flare of Duplication. That's another fun deck. You can check it out on my YouTube channel. They're probably debating whether they want to cast a burn spell and copy it by sacrificing their non-token red creature. Either that or Moto is lagging. You really just can't tell with these things. Nothing, huh? Okay, well, if they have actual nothing, then odds are pretty good that this Weatherlight Completed is going to find us that second Myr Retriever that we want. So Imperial Recruiter only costs 1 mana. It also is going to immediately die when it enters the battlefield. We stack the Scry under the Search. Always yield. We're getting a Myr Retriever. This is a good one, but it's not a Retriever, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on the bottom. And then because we have the Myr Retriever in hand, we can cycle this Marketback Walker. So it'll come in with 1 counter because it costs 2 less. Oh, that was not the order that I wanted to put them in. Okay, so we will settle for comboing next turn with this Imperial Recruiter. I could bring back the Marketback Walker with the Myr Retriever to try and get a couple more looks. I don't think it really costs us anything. I guess it turns the Weatherlight into a creature, so... Okay, because we did not see a mirror on top, I'm gonna go ahead and not cast this Marketback Walker so that my Weatherlight Compleated does not yet become a creature. This is our ticket to winning the game. If we turn it into a creature, they can bolt it to death. And I would rather that not happen. So fair. They have this Brimstone Volley, which normally deals 3 damage, but deals 5 damage if something has already died. So good heads-up play from us in terms of not letting this Weatherlight Compleated be a creature. I think we still... we'll go ahead and search up the other Myr Retriever here. Do we want this one on top of our library? I think... No, we're just looking for another payoff. So that could be Altar of the Brood, that could be Spymaster's Vault. I should have kept the Spymaster's Vault on top. It's fine. Okay, so now we get to find out if they have a second Brimstone Volley to handle our Weatherlight Compleated. If they don't, then we're going to get this up to 7 counters and loop and draw our deck. If they do, we'll probably just play a Marketback Walker. X equals 2. And then next turn, if we're really desperate, we can crank it up, give it another counter, and then kill it with our Perilous Myr. Okay, so they let that resolve, which is good news for us. Okay, don't need a second Heartless Summoning. So here's a trick for speeding up the process. You can cast the Myr Retriever and line up the triggers in the graveyard in such a way that you don't have to move the mouse very much. Okay, and then probably we also... we don't need to move this library stuff around very much. Because once this hits 7 counters, we get to draw the cards, so we won't be scrying very much. Interesting. Okay, opponent messed up here. They definitely should have done this earlier. Okay, there's the Flare of Duplication that we thought they had, and the Burst Lightning. So we're going to go ahead and yield to all. Weatherlight's going to die. But we get to scry this Marketback Walker to the top of our deck. And then we'll go ahead and play the Marketback X equals 2. If nothing else, it's pretty annoying for them. And then next turn, we can just cast a Marketback X equals 3 and then play the Perilous Myr. We'll see. This looks like my tourney winning list. I am kind of regretting putting the card that we need to look out for here post-board is Rampaging Ferocidon. Because I did put 3 of those in the sideboard, and they will own us. Okay, so we get to go ahead and draw 3 cards here. Perilous Myr doing a nice sacrifice outlet impression. Okay, Scrap Trawler actually is a win condition with the Myr Retrievers. So what I can do is next turn I can cast the Scrap Trawler. Oh boy. Okay, well, We might be dead. Notably, I did not play the Canyon Slough here because I did not want to die to a Price of Progress. If they have the third Brimstone Volley, we will just lose. Because we're going to make stuff die repeatedly. And so this is how this is a loop. Perilous Myr gets back Perilous Myr. The Scrap Trawler trigger gets back the Marketback Walker. So we can, every time our Myr Retriever dies, we get to draw a card, essentially. And then we can keep cycling these Marketback Walkers until we draw an Altar of Dementia. Again, not playing any more lands this game. Oh boy, I messed up. I did not... Okay, so we might be playing more lands this game. What do we do now? I think we'll use the Perilous Myr to kill our Marketback Walker. This will draw us the largest number of cards. Okay, there's a Sibsig Ceremony, which will be able to give us infinite 1/1s, but I think the odds are just too high that we die next turn. Plus, if we Sibsig... Well, okay, let's think here. If we Sibsig, Marketback lets us draw 2 cards. Perilous Myr lets us draw 2 cards. So we've got 2 draws here. We can cycle the Canyon Slough. I think I'm going to not cast the Sibsig Ceremony. We're so dead if they draw a good burn spell. Instead, yeah, like what we can do... Okay, there's the second Myr Retriever, which means that we don't need to do anything. I think if I were going to do anything other than looping this game, it would probably be play the Spymaster's Vault, connive onto the Scrap Trawler. But fortunately, it looks like we're not going to need to do that. I just gotta make sure that when I loop my Myr Retrievers, I pick up Myr Retriever. Clicking. Not easy. Okay, and then this is also nice. The Marketback Walkers are all in hand, so the Scrap Trawler is going to target automatically. We are going to burn a bit of clock here, but I think that's fine. Myr Retriever, target Myr Retriever, Scrap Trawler, pick up Hangerback or Marketback Walker, cast Marketback Walker. Cue the circus music. So what we're looking for here is, oh, I have a basic swamp, so let's just speed things up a bit. We're gonna Goblin Engineer. We're gonna go get our Altar of the Brood. We're gonna play a basic swamp for the mana that we need to cast the Altar of the Brood. And then because Myr Retriever, because Scrap Trawler is able to pick up any artifacts, we're going to target Altar of the Brood here. And so this lets us mill out our opponent. Okay. It took us a minute, but we get there. Okay. Myr Retriever targets Myr Retriever. We are no longer targeting anything else. Always yield to Altar of the Brood. And then, now, we just gotta do, like, another 120 clicks, basically. Easy. Easy. In fact, I'm gonna speed this up by killing my Scrap Trawler. Scrap Trawler dying, we'll just pick up a Myr Retriever. If we really need to, we can do stuff with that. Okay, this grabs Perilous. Nope, this grabs Myr Retriever. I swear I've executed this combo before. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move the stack over here in the graveyard here. And then Myr Retriever grabs Myr Retriever, cast Myr Retriever. Alright, we're gonna loop this as many times as we want until the opponent's dead. It'll probably take us another 3 minutes. Of course, if they have kicked Burst Lightning into something else, we will lose the game here. There is a more convoluted line where we can get multiple Scrap Trawlers into play and kill them with damage by looping the Perilous Myr. So if they do have kicked Burst Lightning into regular Burst Lightning, or like kicked Burst Lightning into Price of Progress, then our deck won this game. We just didn't. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I want to make sure there's enough time for games 2 and maybe 3. Because they're running my list, we can't actually tell whether or not they have a Burst Lightning in their hand. Oh wait, they only have 4 mana. They can't kick a Burst Lightning. Okay, opponent has finally decided that they are going to tap their mana. It is pretty cute that when we mill them, they get their Bloodfeather Phoenixes. But if they couldn't kill us with 4 mana this turn, their last card is not going to be able to kill us. And they did have the Price of Progress, so important that we played around that. Okay, and so now we just pass the turn. Discard some non-basic lands. And a Heartless Summoning. Bang! We win. It only took us 14 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and sideboard for game 2. Alright, game 2, I'm going to bring in the Chainsaw because that kills all of their things. I'm going to bring in Heartless Act because that kills all of their things. Anything else we want? I don't think so. What are we cutting here? Well, we got to combo them. Goblin Engineer for Chainsaw is probably good in this matchup. We'll cut 2 Imperial Recruiters. Maybe a Weatherlight? Yeah, I think so. Alright, I don't know if this is correct, but it's what we're doing. Honestly, I should probably cut the altar because we likely will not have time to combo off with that again. So this hand doesn't have a Heartless Summoning effect, and also only 1 basic, which means it's kind of soft to pop. It does have one of our removal spells for Ferocidon. Let's see, did they keep? No, they mulligan to 6 cards. So it's possible that they are going to mulligan to Ferocidon. If they mulligan to Ferocidon, then Heartless Act is going to be quite good. Nah, we just can't keep any hand that doesn't have a free cast enabler. Same logic, we mulligan this. Okay, well, we shouldn't keep any hand that doesn't have a free cast enabler. I think in this case, we're going to make an exception. I'll put back the Heartless Myr and the Blackcleave Cliffs. We'll keep the 2 removal spells in the hopes that we survive. Red deck wins is incredibly fast, though. So, play the Swamp, cast the Chainsaw. Let's get it revving up. Ha ha ha! That's so good for us. They cast a Smash to Smithereens on their Chainsaw, which means that when we play the Scrap Trawler, we will, and they kill it, we will be able to pick up the Chainsaw again. I don't like seeing Force of Rage, though. That means that... Ooh, or we could Goblin Engineer. I think I'll start off with Scrap Trawler. Yeah, our life total is getting dangerously low. And this is kind of what happens when we don't have an enabler in our hands. Like, even if we do a bit of interaction with the opponent, we are just a bit too slow. Okay, well, that's good for us. I'm very glad that got pointed at our face, or at our Scrap Trawler instead of our face. Myr Retriever is interesting, but it's pretty straightforward. We kill the Stadium Headliner. Okay, Marketback Walker is interesting. I think... Okay, what do we want to do here? I think I'm going to Goblin Engineer for another Myr Retriever, just so that if we draw one of our enablers, we get to win immediately. Opponent is just biding their time. Again, this is so good for us that they're targeting our Goblin Engineer instead of our face. Okay, another Stadium Headliner. And here's Infinite Zombies. Like, if they had just shot our face, we would be dead to another burn spell. As it is, we are not. And fortunately, this loop is much faster than the other loop because we don't actually need, 49 loops. If we make 20 zombies, that should be enough. And funnily enough, we will have a bajillion counters on the chainsaw, but that's not really going to matter. And we are also not out of the woods here. They could have Flare of Duplication, and they maybe plus Brimstone Volley, potentially, and they... Oh wait, they only have one card in their hand. So unless their last cards are Brimstone Volley plus Flare of Duplication, like the last card in hand plus the card they draw for turn, are those exact two cards, which, could happen. I think we're good. We got plenty of time on the clock, though, so I'm going to go ahead and make my 20 zombies. Alright, we made 22 because why not? Let's find out. Do you have exactly Brimstone Volley plus Flare of Duplication? No! Okay. Me, oh my. Alright. Sometimes you get got, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Okay. Next game we're on the play. Do I want Altar of the Brood? I don't think we are going to have time to play Altar of the Brood. Let's get a Funeral Room in here. Oh my god, okay. Alright. Shake it off. Shake it off. We're chilling. Okay. Again, this hand does not have an enabler. This hand has an enabler and all non-basics. Yippee! I think we gotta keep it anyway. Okay, and this time we're on the play. Notably, we have both. We've got two enablers, which means that the Scrap Trawler is a backup. Okay, just burning me. Sounds good. Okay. Spymaster's Vault, Heartless Summoning. Bloodfeather Phoenix. You got it. Okay, Myr Retriever is a good one. I think we're just going to play the ceremony this turn. Actually, so we're going to get 2 Spymaster's Vault Connive. We're going to draw 2 cards next turn. I want to make them tap out so that we can actually draw those cards. And they are incentivized to tap out by like casting a Price of Progress and bringing back this Bloodfeather Phoenix. I am probably never playing this Blackcleave Cliffs this game. Yep. Okay, Pit Fighter is fine. And Goblin Engineer means we win the game. Or rather, Goblin Engineer means we make infinite zombies. Is that going to be good enough? Oh, right. We can make infinite zombies and draw... Okay, yeah, this is fine. Spymaster's Vault is going to draw and discard a bunch of cards. So the time is going to be a little rough here, but we do win, assuming we can click through fast enough. So here's a Myr Retriever. Here's a Myr Retriever. Myr Retriever gets back Myr Retriever. And then, again, we're going to pop everything out. Okay. Pop out the graveyard. Myr Retriever. Let's move everything a little closer to the hand. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to make 40 zombies. And then we're going to activate the Spymaster's Vault. The nice thing about the ceremony is it essentially tracks how many creatures have died this turn. I did lose a game earlier in a tournament where I drew 50 cards when I only had 49 left in my deck. So if you are just raw dogging this with Heartless Summoning, make sure to be on the safe side. But after we've activated Spymaster's Vault and drawn 40, we're going to discard, 40 non-lands. We'll keep a Perilous Myr to take down this Falconwrath Pit Fighter, and then attack them for at least 20. Probably closer to 30. Alright, I have decided to stop at 38 instead of going for the full 40 because we are getting a little low on time. I'm going to discard every card except for Myr Retriever and Perilous Myr. Okay, and then we clear the blocker with this Perilous Myr and attack them for 23. GG's opponent. Crazy. Oh my god. Alright, I hope the next ones are a little less intense. See y'all for the next round. Alright, here we are for round 2. This hand has an Enablers and a Payoff and Spymaster's Vault. We can also double shock things and make some zombies, so I think we go ahead and keep. Uh-oh. Looks like we're up against Oops All Lands, which I don't think I have any sideboard cards for. Yeah, nope. I guess... Okay, Weatherlight is great here. I'm going to play the Spymaster's Vault just in case we draw Goblin Engineer next turn. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Fabled Passage. Okay, cool. I'm going to jam the Weatherlight Compleated here. Next turn, we're going to jam the Sibsig Ceremony. I don't know what to make of Temple of Mystery into Fabled Passage. Maybe a Taking Turns deck? Nope. Oops all spells. Or oops all lands. Okay, so this is a staple of Penny Dreadful. The basic premise is you've got 6 non-land cards in your deck. You've got 4 Shardless Agents, a Tybalt's Trickery, and a Primal Surge. So you get to cast the Shardless Agent, cascade into the Trickery, and then Trickery doesn't hit the spell that you counter. Like, it'll counter it and flip a new spell. And so you're guaranteed to hit the Primal Surge. So looking through here, they've got a bunch of cloud posts. They've got the Deserted Temple to untap the cloud posts. They've got Battlement for mana, or they've got Battlement to give something haste, and Wolf Run to kill me. As an added bonus, I think I saw the World Tree in there somewhere. Yeah, there's a World Tree here to make colored mana. So I am dead. But, you know, for content purposes, I'll let him keep going. While I take a look at my sideboard and my distinct lack of cards that are able to handle this. I don't even have a Pithing Needle. Yeah, no, I think probably our best hope is just to go as fast as possible. So if I have an interactive card in my main deck, I will probably cut it for this Gleaming Barrier. If I do a sequence similar to the one that I'm doing here, where I go Weatherlight Completed into Sibsig Ceremony and then do an infinite loop to draw my deck, I need some way to generate additional mana. So I'm not sure what I will cut here, but it's probably important to bring in the Gleaming Barrier. I could theoretically bring in the Heartless Act. Like, I'm not seeing any way to haste multiple creatures. Oh, never mind. They have the Deserted Temples to haste multiple creatures. But they probably won't be able to give plus 20 for multiple creatures. So instant speed creature removal could be okay. Probably not good. Do they have anything with flying? They have this Gargoyle Castle. I wonder what this Boros Garrison is for. Okay, and here we go. Opponent has 7 cloud posts in play, maybe more, 8, 9. So every Deserted Temple activation untaps a cloud post and makes a gajillion mana. So what they're doing here is they're cranking it up to 20 so that they can activate the Handwearer Garrison, targeting a Shardless Agent, and then the Kessig Wolf Run to pump the Shardless Agent up to 20 power. And I could make them go through the motions, but they have the line. They're just executing the mechanics of it. So I'm going to go ahead and concede here to speed things up. All right. So is there anything in the main deck that is not good for going really, really fast? I think probably not. So I'm going to go ahead and not sideboard here because I don't really have anything that is good into the Oops deck. Like, Heartless Act is fine, but it's something that they can play around. It also only buys you a turn. And the opponent was smart and did not actually put their entire deck into play, so they're not going to deck out. I think we just hope that we can turn 3 combo on the play, and then that'll be good enough. Alright, this has Enabler and at least 1 Myr plus a payoff, or yeah, 1 Perilous Myr plus payoff. So we're going to keep, and hopefully it'll get the job done. Okay, we did not want to see it land. Okay, so there's a Myr Retriever. We also just don't have any creatures to vault onto, is kind of the unfortunate part here. So first things first, I'm going to Recruiter. What am I recruiting for? So, probably should have cut the Perilous Myr, huh? So we can get a Goblin Engineer. We can get a Marketback Walker and hope to draw exactly Scrap Trawler, and then draw the other Myr. I think our best bet is to get this Goblin Engineer just to get a creature into play, and then we can loop and kill them with the Spymaster's Vault next turn. I mean, almost certainly dead, but we gotta try. And so the problem here is, of course, if we spend the mana to cast the Goblin Engineer, then we don't have the mana to activate the Spymaster's Vault. So I'm going to go ahead and pass back with this Goblin Engineer activation, finding the Myr Retriever. And then probably we die. Who knows? And the reason I think this is best is because if they have a Fabled Passage or some tap land, like if they don't have an untapped land here, then... Okay, well there's an untapped land. Here's the Shardless Agent. This does have like a 3% chance of fizzling if they mill one of the combo pieces off of Tybalt's Trickery. But unlikely that we are in that lucky spot. Yeah, okay, alright, cool. Yeah, this is a good one. Good meta pick regardless, because the counterspells this season are so bad. Like, this deck will fold to a single counterspell. But, yeah, good pick. Glad to see our new players having some success. Alright, and here we are back for round 3 of the kickoff, and this hand is the best hand we've seen all in tourney. We're going to go Canyon Slough into Goblin Engineer for Myr Retriever into Sibsig Ceremony, make infinite zombies. We'll see what Eilith is up to. Okay. Probably another red deck wins. So infinite zombies not necessarily going to get the job done. Oh, library. That means this is probably taking turns instead of red deck wins. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Spymaster's Vault. And then Goblin Engineer for the Myr Retriever. We love to see the Burst Lightning on the Goblin Engineer. So, notably their deck does play Invert Polarity. I think it's fine. I think I need to just jam this Sibsig Ceremony. So we're hoping that this... Yeah! Alright. No creatures for our opponent. So, what do we want to do now? I think... Now we can go Goblin Engineer for something. What? I don't know. Let's find out. And then if they go to kill our Goblin Engineer again, next turn we can Recruiter for something else? Yes, I would like to use this ability. Oh, we get the Weatherlight. Yeah, that makes life easy. And then next turn, we can play the Retriever and get back Weatherlight. If the Retriever gets countered, we can just jam the Scrap Trawler. That's unfortunate. But not the end of the world. Like, we get to go Scrap Trawler plus Myr Retriever, probably. The only scary thing is, I don't know how many, or if any, pops this blue-red tempo deck plays. I'm going to hold the Myr Retriever in case we get a Sibsig Ceremony. Am I? I might just cast it. Get the beatdown going. Nah, we're chilling. We're chilling. Okay, yes, you have a 1-mana 2/2 zombie. This is wild, man. Okay, alright. I think we get in there with the Scrap Trawler, and then if they block, we get back the Weatherlight. We cast the Weatherlight. And if they don't block, we play the Recruiter and get another Goblin Engineer. In this one, I think we'll go ahead and get Marketback Walker because we have the Scrap Trawler in play and I want something to loop with the Myr Retriever. Could get Perilous Myr. We'll just get the Walker. Alright. By playing this Blackcleave Cliffs, I have declared that my opponent's deck does not contain Price of Progress. Like, we are now just straight up dead to double pop. Finale of Promise for double burst lightning. Yeah, sounds good. Oh no, just single burst lightning we're okay with. Do I want to block? I don't think I block here. We do need to put some pressure on. Okay, so we play a Myr Retriever. We play a Perilous Myr. We attack for 4, and now they can't attack us back. Okay, this Canyon Slough will probably end up cycling, but for now, let's just smack him. I think we get in with these two. Yeah. Okay, well that's good for us. I think this will get back Marketback Walker. And then we get to connive onto the Imperial Recruiter. Another Walker. Great. So we got to discard 2 cards. I think we're discarding... how crazy is it to discard land? I don't think it's too crazy. Alright, and then we cast a Marketback Walker, X equals 2. You have a clue token. Okay. Well, we'll start here. If they have a counterspell, they have to counter this. We'll hit their wizard token, I think, with the Perilous Myr. And then this Perilous Myr, or this Myr Retriever, can pick up a Scrap Trawler, so that we can draw infinite cards. Here's a Scrap Trawler. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And then I think we just go ahead and cast the Myr Retriever, because if they have a counterspell or not, that changes what we do. Okay, so... Okay, well, they're tapped out. They're dead. We get to go ahead and... probably the easiest thing is just to loop Myr Retrievers and then activate the Spymaster's Vault, but I think we'll draw a couple cards first. Second Scrap Trawler. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, we don't need the sideboard up. Okay, so Myr Retriever targets Myr Retriever. Scrap Trawler gets back the Marketback Walker. Alright, I just had enough. Sideboarding! So they're a Thing in the Ice Spider-Man 2099 deck. I think I want the Heartless Act. I think I'll play one Shieldbreaker as a tutor target for Recruiter and a Dragon Engine, because they're going to have counterspells and stuff. What do I not like here? All of their creatures have more than 2 toughness, so I'm going to cut 3 of the Perilous Myr. And probably an Imperial Recruiter. Yeah, I like this. Okay, this hand is great. We've got a Ceremony. Okay, you have an Ancestral Vision. We'll play the Canyon Slough. Myr Retriever is a good draw, but we do need a land here. Because we have a Swamp in play, we've got... Oh, I guess we can just Heartless Summoning. I don't know if the Ylith is playing the 2-mana counterspell post board. Doesn't look like it. Alright. So this game is feeling fairly over. Oh my god, and we even got the untapped land. Okay, so for starters, I could cast the Sibsig Ceremony and get it countered. I could also Imperial Recruiter, get that countered, and then... How much time... Okay, Ancestral goes off in 2 turns. I think I just want to jam the Sibsig Ceremony. because that makes infinite zombies if it resolves. And as we saw last game, if they okay, alright. Well, that's game over. I mean, I don't know what sideboard cards they may have, but it is likely that they have died because I'm going to get to cast my infinite zombies. So notably, even though I only have one Myr Retriever in hand, the Scrap Trawler is fully discounted. So we can cast that for free as well. And it effectively becomes part of the loop. So cool that we get to show this one off. And now we just need to do a bit of clicking. Also, always yield. I could cast the Marketback Walker, but it's going to lead to more clicking, so I won't. And then if they somehow manage to deal with our infinite zombies next turn, it's probably going to require some amount of tapping out on their turn, at which point we can win with this other Imperial Recruiter for... I don't know what we would get, but it would probably win. Alright, 30 zombies should be enough. Let's go ahead and pass back. We can always cast this Hangerback Walker next turn. And there we go. Alright, GG's opponent. And two nice, clean turn 3 infinite zombies, one of which was disrupted, but thankfully Invert Polarity was a secret agent working for us. See y'all next round. Alright, and here we are for round number 4. This hand has no enabler, so we hit the mulligan button. This hand has an enabler and a Weatherlight Compleated, so I think we're going to keep in following the same logic as last time. We put one of the enablers on the bottom, because typically, there's not a lot of counterspells in this format. Oh boy, okay. We are up against Mono Red Leyline Axe Fervent Champion deck. We'll see if they have the champion. Nope. Dragonfire Blade is still scary though. Okay, so I'm gonna play this Weatherlight Compleated. If we rip an untapped land next turn, then we are chillin'. If we don't rip an untapped land, we are in trouble. I imagine this keep probably means that they have the 2-mana free equip guy. Yep, there's the 2-mana free equip guy. So if we draw... okay, that actually also works. So we can play the Heartless Summoning, And then we can use the Perilous Myr to kill the Rebound. And then if we find a Myr Retriever, okay, that's a land, but it's not untapped. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the bottom. Like, we already have a Spymaster's Vault. Okay, they've got so much equipment. All right. Untapped land. Love to see it. I'm going to cast the Sibsig Ceremony, and I don't know what the top card of my deck is. I kind of want the 2/2 zombie, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. We don't want another ceremony. I think we just pass now. We got a lot of good draws on top of our deck. Imperial Recruiter is going to find us a Myr Retriever, likely. So if we find... Okay, Goblin Engineer, not quite what we were looking for. How crazy is it to get a Marketback Walker off of this Imperial Recruiter? I think it's a bit too crazy. Like, we're at 17. We are pretty close to dead if they find a Fervent Champion, because this gives +1, this gives +2, this gives +2, so that would be a 6/6. They would... If they find a Fervent Champion, they hit us for 6 plus another 4. So we are just dead to a Fervent Champion off of the top. I think we'll Recruiter for Marketback Walker and cast it X=2. So that will also turn on the Weatherlight and let us start beating down. Don't need the Heartless Summoning. I also think that we don't pay the extra 2 mana. We're just gonna do it for the natural 2, like X=2. Don't need the Swamp. In this way we can activate the Spymaster's Vault. Okay, there's a Myr Retriever. This Swamp is not a red land, unfortunately. But we do have a couple of more draws towards a red land. There's a question here of, do I want to activate the Spymaster's Vault now, or do I want to cast a Myr Retriever to pick up the Marketback Walker and draw 2 more cards before I activate the Vault? I think because we have -4 cost reduction and also some scries, I'm going to pick up the Marketback Walker. If we find either a Myr Retriever or a Scrap Trawler, we do just win. Recruiter, not going to do it. There's a Scrap Trawler, we do just win. Okay, so pick up Myr Retriever. We've got another Myr Retriever. And now every time a creature dies, we draw a card. So how do we want to handle this? We want to activate Spymaster's Vault and discard 20 non-land cards. In order to do that, we need to kill our own Weatherlight, potentially. I guess, how much damage is this right now? Only 6 creatures have died so far. I think... okay. I haven't done the math, but I think if we draw like 10 cards and then we activate our Spymaster's Vault, X equals 10, we can finish our opponent off with the Myr Retriever. Or with the Perilous Myr. We just want to be a bit mindful of time. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 Perilous Myr activations in hand. So there are 12. We need to hit them for 12. So we just need to connive X equals 7. It doesn't hurt to just keep looping a bit more. Hurts our clock a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now we just discard all cards that are not Myr Retriever. Okay, and now that we've hit all of the non-lands, we get to go ahead and punch them in the face for 18. Bang! Easy. And notably, because we can use the Myr Retrievers to pick up the Perilous Myrs, we've got another 10 damage left in hand. Cool. All right, game 2. Because they are the equipment version of the deck, I like the Shieldbreaker and the Reckless Airstrike. Just a good, cheap ways of murdering the equipment. Is Altar of the Brood good here? Perilous Myr is good here. I think we can potentially cut a Weatherlight. Can potentially cut an Imperial Recruiter and a Goblin Engineer. I think we get rid of the altar. So Chainsaw and Heartless Act are both kind of awkward because Dragon Fireblade is going to give their creature hexproof from monocolored. I do think so Perilous Myr gets around that, kind of, but also Perilous Myr only deals 2 damage. I think I would rather have Heartless Act. I think we just go full removal spells. Like, as we saw last game, they can't really win if we just kill enough of their creatures. And then with that in mind, the Marketback Walkers are pretty important. We'll cut a Weatherlight, we'll cut another Recruiter. This could potentially be overboarding. We'll cut a Scrap Trawler. Like, it's possible that I should not be boarding in so many cards, and because we could just die to pop, right? This hand has an enabler, it has a removal spell, we keep. Oof. Well, this removal spell is likely going to be very good. Alright, there's a Leyline Axe. Do you also have a Fervent Champion? No. If they just have a Raban, then this chainsaw will crush their hopes and dreams. Because I've drawn another land, I'm going to go ahead and play the Blackcleave Cliffs. I'll probably cycle this Canyon Slough at some point. I don't know what the black is for. Airstrike's good. That'll take care of the Leyline Axe at some point. Here's a Heartless Summoning. Okay, there's a champion. Do you also have the blade? No. Sure, you have a Molten Duplication on your Leyline Axe to get in for another 2 damage. You got it. Okay, so we just chainsaw. And then I kind of don't want to play the Scrap Trawler. Like, we're going to have plenty of mana, and I don't want to get Chain Lightninged. Okay, Dragonfire Blade, you got it. Imperial Recruiter. What would we recruit for? I don't know. Let's cycle this Canyon Slough while we're thinking. Another Canyon Slough. I'm tempted to just Recruiter for Shieldbreaker. Oh, they have no cards in hand. Okay. I think instead I'm going to tutor... Alright, I'm going to play the Canyon Slough. I'm going to tutor for a Goblin... Engineer. That way we can... find like a Myr Retriever. We can get the... We can sack the chainsaw. We can... Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting with this Goblin Engineer. Probably just Myr Retriever. Nah, we'll get... Probably just Perilous Myr. Ah, wait, no, we can get Marketback Walker. And then the next time they play something, we can weld back the... We can bring back the Marketback Walker to our hand? Question mark? Alright, well, one of these is going to get Marketback Walker. The other one is going to... like, I have another one in hand. I think that this turn it's important that we get the double striker off of the board. And then we'll play a Scrap Trawler. Okay, we like seeing another land. Alright, Perilous Myr is great here. We're gonna cycle it, essentially, with this Marketback Walker. This might be an equipped chainsaw game. Oh, this is kind of sweet. So what I can actually do is I'll play the Sulfurous Springs. I'll cast Marketback Walker, X equals 3. I'll sacrifice the Marketback Walker to bring back the Perilous Myr. I think I'll do that on their turn. For now, let's just go fetch a Myr Retriever. I think it's important in this matchup that we have our instant speed repeatable shock. And then if they don't have anything on their end step, we can weld back the Perilous Myr to deal them 2 more damage and draw 3 cards. Okay, continuing to have nothing. This is great for us. How crazy is it to get the Myr Retriever? Not crazy at all, because the Myr Retriever is going to get back the Perilous Myr for free on our turn. Like, I think we get to kill them here. Yeah, especially since there's another... Myr Retriever in hand. Okay. So now we just put a chainsaw right here, and we smickety smack. There you have it. So we are 3-1, headed into round 5. Alright, and here we are for round 5. We're gonna... This hand has Enabler, Payoff, Myr in the Graveyard, and a way to draw. So it is kind of borderline. It does, however, have exactly 1 land. And I generally don't keep 1-landers. I don't know. This does have all of the components that we need to be a good hand. We can cycle the Walker. We've got 24 lands in the deck. We're on the draw. We've got 2 draws to find a land. I'm going to mull. This hand does not have an Enabler. Could be okay against aggro. Gonna mulligan. This hand is the best hand we've seen yet. I'm gonna put back Basic Swamp, Heartless Summoning, or Scrap Trawler. Definitely keeping the Retriever. I think we bottom the Ceremony because we have the Spymaster's Vault and the Scrap Trawler as payoffs. Plains. What deck plays Plains? Humans. So that 6-card hand actually would have been pretty fine. I think we would have absolutely been cooked with the 7-card hand. Just like missing a land drop. They play Athalia. We can't play anything. Humans is theoretically a good matchup, but obviously going to be a bit worse on the draw. Although if they kept a 1-land hand and are getting punished for it, then it's a great matchup. Okay, there are many Heartless Summonings. This one is mine. I would love to drop a Myr Retriever here. Or a Perilous Myr here, but that's fine. Also, notably, if we play the 2nd summoning, then the Scrap Trawler is loopable with the Myr Retriever. However, we won't have any creatures in play, so we won't be able to... Ooh, that's interesting. Allies, huh? However, we won't have any creature in play, so we won't be able to connive with the Spymaster's Vault. Got a lot of good draws next turn. That's unfortunate. That'll kill our Heartless Summoning if they get to 3 mana. Okay, in this case, I think we want to play the Sulfurous Springs and the 2nd Scrap Trawler. We can block something next turn. Like, Myr Retriever plus Scrap Trawler is 1 blocker infinitely. Lieutenant's scary. So probably we're just chumping this turn. Might block the Kythian. Take 10, go to 2. Take 11, go to 1. How important is it to have life points? I might want the red mana. I don't think flipping this Scythian is going to matter. So this is 5. Yeah, okay, we'll just chump. Swamp, not going to do it, unfortunately. Although, we do get one more look because Myr Retriever picks up the Scrap Trawler. And then I'm going to play this... I'm going to play the Swamp so that we can have the Scrap Trawler be there. And then we activate the Spymaster's Vault. Not super hopeful that this is going to work. Second Myr Retriever, a bit too late, unfortunately. We have to scoop it up. Right? Okay, so Mold of 5, up against humans. That's fine. Like, this, I think, is going to be a pretty good matchup. Like, we just bring in some removal spells. Heartless Act is a little awkward. I think we bring in the Ratchet Bomb. And then, typically, I don't think this is going to be an Altar of the Brood angle. I think it's more likely to be a Perilous Myr murder them angle. And we can pull out an Imperial Recruiter, a Weatherlight, an Imperial Recruiter, and ship it. Yeah, kind of reflecting a bit there. If we had kept the Sibsig Ceremony instead of the Heartless Summoning, then we would have been able to make just a crap ton of 2/2s, and that would have been able to block well. It would have been worse against Thalia, though, so I think it's one of those things where the texture of the game could have been different. Had I known we were going up against humans, I probably would have kept the same hand with the same set of cards, because if we draw any of our Myr Retriever tutors or a different payoff, then we're still able to win. Alright, hand's great. We've got Enabler, Free Shock, Weatherlight Compleated. Keep. Also a Myr Retriever in the making. Alright, did opponent... Okay, opponent kept Champion of the Parish land. Pretty good. Third land... I think we just shock him now, right? We play the Heartless Summoning, we Perilous Myr, and then next turn we can Weatherlight for Weatherlight plus Imperial Recruiter. It is a little awkward if they have a disenchant effect, but Imperial Recruiter, generally speaking... Like, it's not too terrible to just chain together Imperial Recruiters. And they don't have the disenchant effect anyway, so. Warden of the Inner Sky. That one's interesting. So probably what we're going to do next turn is cast a Weatherlight Compleated and Recruiter for a Myr. And that way, a Myr Retriever. I guess I gotta be specific because we got this Perilous Myr here. The Recruiter is going to find us the first Myr, and then we'll get 3 scries to the second Myr. So here's the Myr Retriever. Spymaster's Vault's okay. I think I can do better. Like, we already have this payoff here. So there is a question of, do I want to shock something this turn? And I think the answer is yes. I'll just kill this Scythian. It gives me 2 more scries towards another Myr Retriever. It does notably turn off Goblin Engineer as a Myr Retriever. Okay, happy to bottom that. But most importantly, it keeps my life total high. I mean, that's not a Myr Retriever, but it is a good one. I think I'll go ahead and keep it. Stem the bleeding a bit. And it's another situation where it's an immortal blocker because I can play it. If it dies, it gets back the Myr Retriever, and then the Myr Retriever gets itself back. Okay, well that's a problem. That's a problem that we have to deal with. This might be a fair game. Next creature that dies turns this into a 4/4. The good news is they can't attack with it. I guess they can attack with it. Awkward. Yep, you have an Adeline. If they attack with both, I'm probably blocking this Warden. They don't attack with anything. Interesting. So maybe they're going to... Okay. Sure. Removal spell is phenomenal. I think we save it, though. Probably going to save it for their end step. Yep, you have Athalia's Lieutenant. So we're chump blocking here. Oh, but... Lieutenant means that Heartless Act no longer works, so we're just going to go ahead and do this now and hope they don't have another one. And the nice thing about this is... Oh, okay, this is only a creature I control. Okay, so do I want to take 4 damage to get a token off of the board? I think so. This is 8. Go to 11. Scry. Pick up the Myr Retriever. A lot of good draws here. That's not really one of them. I mean, it's a fine draw, but there are better draws in my deck. And notably, I do have a 4/4 and 2 more Scries. So we pick up the Scrap Trawler, bottom a land, hold our swamp, pass. No attacks. What's your last card, opponent? Not good enough to merit. Okay, so it's worse than making a 1/1. That's what we learned here. So they can't attack. Ah, okay, all right. So their lieutenant's gonna grow, but then I do get to eat this warden. I think I have to chump block here. What happens if I block here? I take 10, I go to 1. I don't want to go to 1. They have a bunch of 1/1s. So we'll do this. And this is actually nice because it means that next turn I get to draw a card. Because the Weatherlight will be up to 7 counters. Is that good enough? No, right? I guess it does dig us 1 deeper. I think we can do better. Like, we're gonna draw at least 1 card here, potentially 2. Ah, alright. Opponent could have Brave the Elements here, but this should lock it up. Right, because we're gonna draw infinite cards here. And, you know, we'll also make a bunch of 1/1s as a byproduct, but... But then we'll also be able to connive onto our Weatherlight. Okay, let's pick up the Myr Retriever, just so that we don't have the opportunity to misclick. Alright, so our win condition here is Spymaster's Vault. And we do have to find one before we hit a number of zombies equal to the number of cards in our deck. So we are coming up on that pretty quick. We did bottom a bunch of Spymaster's Vaults, huh? That's okay. Push comes to shove, we can just throw a bunch of shocks at our opponent's Adeline. And then I think without creatures, they're not going to be able to kill us. Alright, well, we are officially in cannot Spymaster's Vault territory. So, what do we want to do instead? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Perilous Myr triggers. So let's just go ahead and do that. So here's 1. Actually fewer if we cast this chainsaw. So let's go ahead and do that. I guess Heartless Act probably would have been smarter. No, Heartless Act doesn't work because Adeline has a counter. Right. It turns out against creature decks, when you draw your entire deck, just having a bunch of free shocks is enough. And so the reason that we're killing all of their creatures here is so that they can't top deck a Brave the Elements. Although at this point, Maybe it's better to just save clock. Alright. No attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Basically, I'm just keeping Myr Retrievers here. Bang. Like, we could have kept going in one, but I think in this case it was more prudent to scoop to save time for game 3. Okay, here we are for game 3. This hand, one lander, can't keep it. Has a removal spell, has enablers, but yeah. This hand is great. Have a removal spell, we have an enabler, and we have 3 lands. Can't really ask for more. I guess I could ask for a Goblin Engineer on turn 2. But, you know, we don't want to be greedy. This hand is a little scared of Thalia. Like, I want to save the Heartless Act for Boromir. Okay, Initiate's annoying. That can blow up my Ceremony. But I have backup Ceremony. Okay, they do have a Thalia. If they go Initiated into Thalia into Adeline, we do probably just die. Okay, just a Boromir. So probably we are ignoring the Thalia now and killing the Boromir. We do at some point need to draw another creature. I think we go ahead and pass the turn here. On their combat, we'll kill the Boromir. And all goes well, we just top deck another Myr Retriever next turn. Marketback Walker is a good one. That gives us something to bring back with the Myr Retriever. It actually gives us 2 more draws towards vanilla Myr Retriever, because we can cast it X equals 1, and then we can Myr Retriever it back. And then it also gives us 3 zombies with which we can use to block. The zombies will probably be blocking the Hopeful Initiate, because that'll go up to a 3/4. So if we block with 2 zombies, Imperial Recruiter is great. That gives us the win next turn, assuming we survive that long. Which, you know, is not a given. Our opponent does have a big board, and they did just scry. So we probably go block, block, chump the biggest thing. Can we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Do we even need to chump? I think we block the Kythian, right? Yep. Because we have the second Sibsig in hand. Okay, yep. This is bad against specifically Brave the Elements, but I don't think opponent has Brave the Elements. I think they're more likely to remove counters to kill the Ceremony. Yep. Great. And that also means we take less damage, and we have another one in hand, so we get to loop with this Imperial Recruiter finding a Myr Retriever next turn. As of right now, we're also just not dead to Brave the Elements. They would need to have Brave the Elements plus something else. Which, you know, the something else is just another 1-mana creature, which they do play a lot of. But this is infinite 2/2 zombies. As long as I don't misclick. So, you know, opponent can see that it's infinite 2/2 zombies. I won't let them know. They already know. It's 3 clicks for a zombie. Should be fine. We'll go until we hit 30 zombies, or we get down to like 7 minutes, I don't know. You all also won't be seeing this looping because I am cutting it out of the video. Okay, show me Brave the Elements plus 1 drop. I guess Land Brave the Elements 2-drop also works. Alright, they don't have it. GG's opponent. I'll see y'all in round 6. Alright, here we are in round 6. If we win, we're a lock for top 8. If we lose, we might get into top 8, might not. This hand, not a winning hand, no enabler. So we go ahead and mulligan. This hand is perfect. Well, almost perfect. It's got an enabler and 2 Myr Retrievers. One of them will cost an mana though. So regardless, we're going to keep. Probably put back... Okay, what do we put back here? Josha typically plays Temur Battlecrier, so this Perilous Myr is not great. I think we put that one back. Yeah. I guess it can kill an Outcast or Trailblazer. That would be quite good. The greedy answer was put back a land, and we would have been rewarded. But, unfortunately for me, I prefer consistency over greed. Okay, opponent has emerged from the tank and played a Birds of Paradise. You got it. Alright, because we did not draw a 2-drop, we're going to just cycle this Canyon Slough at the end of turn. What do you have for 5 mana over there? Still nothing. That's crazy. I wonder if they have like a Woodland Bellower or something in hand. Oh no, they just have a Chord of Calling, right? Okay, so Heartless Summoning is interesting here in that I could go Heartless Summoning Imperial Recruiter for a damage guy and then pick it up and kill both of their birds. Yeah, I think that's the line here. So we go Graven Cairns, and then the turn after that we can make infinite zombies by looping with the Sibsig Ceremony. They will be able to fetch a Fanatic of Ronus end of turn, which is scary, but I think it's fine. So Is it fine? I think they're going to do that either way, and I would rather they have 2 fewer mana dorks. Okay, so we target a bird. They're going to chord in response. Heads up play letting this resolve and letting us target before they actually chord. Otherwise, I 100% would have just shot down the Fanatic that they get here. They could also get a Scavenging Ooze, but that's a-okay with us. Like, we've got this Myr Retriever in hand that we're going to be able to use to pick up the Perilous Myr. Myr Superion. Alright, I am not scared of that one. Okay, alright. That makes our life very easy. We just do our original plan of killing both of their birds, and then next turn we'll be able to Sibsig Ceremony plus Scrap Trawler loop to make infinite 1/1s, and they will be dead. Amazing. So they have lethal on board, but we have infinite power and toughness. That is so funny. That's such a cool line. Okay, we go ahead and pop out the graveyard so that we can target. You know, we could potentially misclick here, at which point we would be in kind of a disastrous spot, but I have faith. Let's just move all of the windows close together so that we don't have to move so far. Honestly. And if you've ever wondered, okay, how can we do this in the minimum amount of time possible? This is how. You gotta make it so that your mouse travels as low a distance as possible every time you make a zombie. You know, I have been playing a lot of StarCraft 2 in the background. Really getting my APM up has been helpful for my Magic the Gathering gaming skills. Anyway, I'll see you when we have like 40 zombies or something ridiculous. Alright, and here we are with 40 zombies. It's enough to block all of our opponent's stuff and kill it, and kill him on the crackback. But just to save time... Wait, can I do all of these? No. Awkward. They have no cards in hand. This is fine. Okay. Right click, attack all. Bang. Okay, so they are a creature combo deck. Their primary combo is Outcaster, Trailblazer plus the guy who makes all of your spells cost cheaper if you have big guys. However, they're also a Kiki-Jiki Myr Breaker plus Untapper combo deck. We bring in the Cursed Totems for sure. This not only stops the Kiki combo, but it also turns off all of their mana dorks. Do we want the Chainsaw? I think probably not. Oh, right, we have Nature's Ruin also. So we're going to board more like a control deck here. We'll bring in the Cursed Totem, the Heartless Act, the Nature's Ruin, and then we don't need to mill them out typically. I don't know, it could be fine to keep the Altar of the Brood in, but we're bringing in 6 cards and something's gotta go. Probably don't need the Weatherlight, or the Goblin Engineer, or the Imperial Recruiter. We'll cut a Perilous Myr. Yeah, let's do something like this. Alright, this hand has Enabler, 2 lands, and a Myr Retriever. Keep. They could kill us. That's the risk you gotta run. Okay, lovely. There's the 3rd land. I would love to find a Heartless Summoning here so that I can go Swamp Heartless Summoning Perilous Myr, kill the Elvish Mystic. Any other removal spell also good. Temur Battle Crier. That's the guy that discounts all your stuff. Okay, well, that's not the removal spell I was looking for. Now we get to find out if we're dead. If we're not dead, I like our spot. Like, we get to Perilous Myr, Myr Retriever, shock the Battle Crier twice. Okay, they have a Ronus Fanboy, and Myr Superion. Sure. This game is not being won by combat damage. The Fanatic does give them just an actual million amount of mana, though. Okay, what do we get? Marketback Walker. Alright. So let's start there. Here's my Sibsig Ceremony. Now they can chord for 3, I think. Yeah, they can chord. No, they can chord for 4. So let's start here. I don't think they have an enter the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. They might have a Scavenging Ooze, but they need to use all of their green mana to find it, so. Nature's Ruin, 1 card. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to kill this Fanatic of Ronus, because if we let them untap with the Fanatic of Ronus, they can go Nature's Rhythm, X equals 3 for their untapped creature, and then flashback Nature's Rhythm off of Myr Superion to get the Kiki-Jiki. As it is, they... Like, the one that I kill here... If I kill one, I will remove some amount of their mana. If I kill the Battle Crier, they still have a bunch of green mana. If I kill the Ronus, then they're choked on green mana. They'll still be able to Nature's Rhythm record for something large, but I think that's fine. Like, the way that I die here is they cast and flashback a Nature's Rhythm. So I could get back a Marketback Walker, but as previously stated, my primary interest here is making sure I don't die next turn. And the way that I do that is killing this Fanatic of Ronus. Oh, weird. They don't have a Court of Calling? Okay, well that's even better for us. Because next turn we can pay 1 mana to make 2 zombies. And Scrap Trawler plus Myr Retriever is not technically a loop in the infinite sense. But if we make, 8 more 2/2 zombies, then we're chilling. And similarly, especially if we just blow up all of their green creatures next turn. Okay, they have a Tranquil Frillback, which they're probably going to 2-mode, okay, just full 3-mode, huh? Kill the Sibsig Ceremony, exile my graveyard. And gain 4 life. Nope, just 2-mode. Sure. Now, if they attack with everything, we very easily block the Myr Superion. Oh, interesting. They did have the chord. Why didn't they chord last turn? This Nature's Ruin is going to mess him up, let me tell you. They can only chord for 2 here. Okay, Scrap Trawler is going to be good next turn. Bang. Alright. Time bought. Yep, you got another Myr Superion. They are also buying time here. Spymaster's Vault is a good one. How crazy is it to just smash in with everything and then loot with the Spymaster's Vault? I think first I want to get a Scrap Trawler down. Yeah, let's start there. And then next turn, if they don't have anything, we can smash and activate the Spymaster's Vault and still cast the Sibsig Ceremony. Heartless Act, great. Yeah, so let's just make sure they can't cord. Cool. Then we can smash in. Do I attack with the Scrap Trawler? I kind of want to attack with the Scrap Trawler. Nah. Actually, no, that's not a bad idea. Like, they'll block it, they'll take 8. I play another Scrap Trawler. Nah. I still have hope that the combo will get there. Cool. Combat damage. Let's see what we can find here, huh? Lands. Okay. Don't mind getting rid of those. They definitely have a Court of Calling in their hand. They've been tapping their creatures in the UI, which is not something that you can do unless you have a Convoke spell to cast. So it's very strange to me that they are just continuing to hold on to this Court of Calling and not actually get anything with it. Ah, I see. So, are they dead? No, but we can take them off of colored mana. And then we activate this. Do we? No. Let's get in there. This time I will attack with all creatures because we can put them to 1. And putting them to 1 here has a lot of value because then they can't tap their pain lands. Oh, even better. Okay, so next turn we'll have lethal with the Perilous Myr. Like, they have this Court of Calling, but they can't cast it anymore because they're at 1 life. Okay, you have Aronis Fanboy, and nothing else. You cannot make colored mana anymore. Alright, GG's opponent. Bang! This was a cool game. A lot of decision points, a lot of choosing whether to pursue our combo or kind of deny our opponent's mana and resources. Yeah, and like I think they played it pretty well, other than not casting the Court of Calling. Like there were a couple of points there where if they just needed to cast the Court of Calling to get something on board. Like I understand they wanted to combo, but all right, I'm not complaining. I'll see y'all in top 8. All right, and here we are for the top 8. And this hand is a banger. We're up against Cool, who's been playing humans. We played against them in round 5. We're going to keep this. Probably what we do is we play the Hangerback Walker, or the Marketback Walker on turn 2. We might play the Myr on turn 2. We'll see. Having multiple pain lands is a little bit awkward, but I think it's fine. We need to draw a land and a Thalia, or need to draw land and dodge Thalia. I don't think that's too big of an ask, though. Even if they have Thalia, we can just Imperial Recruiter on turn. Whatever turn that would be. Okay, they have a champion. I'm very tempted to... Oh, okay. Well, in that case, we're going to play our tap land. If they don't have a Thalia, this lets us go bonkers next turn. Like, we go Sibsig Ceremony, Marketback Walker, Perilous Myr, Myr Retriever. Yeah. Yep, Aspirant, not going to do it. Like, with just the cards in our hand, we're going to be making 4 2/2 zombies and drawing a card and shocking something. In the next turn, the Recruiter is going to find second Myr Retriever. And bada bing, bada boom. What do we find off the Scrap Trawler? Nope, not the Scrap Trawler. Off of the Marketback Walker. Draw a card. Basic Swamp. That's fine. Do I want another shock or do I want another card? I think I want another card. So let's start here, and that'll tell us a little bit more about what we want to shock. Okay. We shock Aspirant, your go opponent. You know, initially I was thinking of Sibsig as Heartless Summoning numbers, 5 through 8, but maybe that's wrong, and the correct way to think about it is that Sibsig, or is that Heartless Summoning is Sibsig numbers 5 through 8. Like, especially in this meta, just making a giant board of creatures is incredibly strong. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just make 1 million zombies. Okay, not actually 1 million, but a lot of zombies. If I wanted to, I could Imperial Recruiter for Goblin Engineer for the altar, but I think ultimately that's going to take more time than we really need to spend. It'll also add additional triggers to the stack that I don't want to have. So let's just make, I think 20 zombies should be enough. We're here. We might as well make 30. I may need to restart Magic Online in between, because it turns out it has a finite number of game actions you can execute before it crashes. So, anyway. Okay, so here we are. We've got our 25 new zombies and our 4 old zombies. Close enough. The one thing that might get us is like Thalia's Lieutenant into Brave the Elements. So I'm just going to attack with our zombies here. If they block, then I will Scrap Trawler back the Perilous Myr to kill the Adeline. And then that should prevent Brave the Elements shenanigans. Honestly, it takes so little effort to execute. Might as well just go for it. Like, the humans deck is not playing Wrath of God. And just removing all possible outs my opponent has sounds good to me. I mean, I could also just do math and see if Thalia's Lieutenant plus Brave the Elements wins, but why do math when I can spend another couple seconds off my clock? Bang. Okie dokie. We'll board the same as before, so we bring in the removal. Bring in the Ratchet Bomb. We'll board out Altar. We'll board out 2 Imperial Recruiters and 1 Weatherlight. Alright. And this hand has removal spells, Heartless Summoning, and Payoff. We are a little light in terms of, Myr, but that's fine. Probably go turn 1 Spymaster as well, turn 2 Blackcleave Cliffs plus Chainsaw something. Or maybe just Ratchet Bomb, get that ticking up. Okay, Engineer is great. Honestly, I might Engineer on turn 2 instead of doing anything else. Never mind, that's a Sun Gold Sentinel. And that's a Sibsig Ceremony. Okay. Do I play the Heartless Summoning? We got a lot of options here. I think we just start with Ratchet Bomb. Like, we're not under that much pressure. Okay, now we're under pressure. I regret not doing the chainsaw. Okay. Well, that is a good draw if I want to... Okay, I guess first let's see, am I dead next turn? We pop the bomb, so they're hitting us for 3, 7, 8, 9. Go to 5. Not dead next turn. However, we can still Sibsig plus Goblin Engineer next turn. So I think what we're going to do this turn is just chainsaw down the Sentinel. It's a little bit mana inefficient, but I think it should be okay. Well, that's great for us. The fact that they're playing these things out pre-combat. I see. You got it. Oh, honey. Okay, well... Sorry. Okay, so now what do we want to do? Next turn they're attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. So we need at least 1 blocker. I think, okay, this is kind of strange, but I think we're gonna Goblin Engineer Weatherlight. Goblin Engineer finds Myr Retriever. We play the Weatherlight. Probably this Goblin Engineer is gonna have to chump. Okay, that's fine. We have 2 enablers in hand, so yeah. We have to chump block here, which is fine. We get a scry. If the top card is exactly Myr Retriever, then I think we win. Because probably Goblin Engineer, not going to do it, unfortunately. Oh, we definitely win, because we have the enabler here. Okay, well, here's a Heartless Summoning. Here's a Marketback Walker, X equals 2. I think in this case we actually just run out both of them. And that's important because it lets us draw an extra card off of the Marketback Walker. Although, never mind, I messed up. This needed to be X equals 1. If it's X equals 1, then this dies and we get to scry draw, which would not have saved us. Okay, cool. All right, close game. Here we are for game 3. Yeah, I think that decision earlier to, I forget exactly what we did, but we needed to not Ratchet Bomb. We needed to chainsaw instead, just to keep our life total high. Okay, this hand is interesting. This hand does not have an enabler. I think we mulligan. This hand also does not have an enabler, and furthermore is much worse. This hand also does not have an enabler, but it's a 5-card hand. We're going to keep it. Hope the Goblin Engineer lives. We're on the play. It should live. Put back the Sulfurous Springs. Put back second Goblin Engineer, maybe? Yeah, sure. And so then what we can do is we can turn... I'll play this. I think it depends on... Like, if they have Sun Gold Sentinel, we get Omega punished here. Okay. Imperial Recruiter is fine. Let's go get a chainsaw. One kind of awkward thing here is that Myr Retriever is not a May. You must return it to your hand. So we can play the Retriever next turn. Oh, damn it. We can play the Myr Retriever next turn, and I was about to say sacrifice it to go get the chainsaw, but the chainsaw would just bounce back to our hand. Okay. The second Goblin Engineer, sure. I might want to play the Imperial Recruiter instead, just to be mana efficient. Yeah, that seems fine. What is this getting? Is this just getting a Perilous Myr? I think so. Yep. Cool. And then we can trade for the Sun Gold Sentinel, potentially. Just keep our life total high. Depends on what they do here. Kithian, sure. Lieutenant. Alright, well, that one's a bit scary. I think we're chump blocking the champion. We can always chump block the champion next turn. Yep. And it's going to be bigger next turn, so... Okay, land is a pretty good draw. We get to go Perilous Myr, Myr Retriever, and then they don't really have good attacks. Because this Sun Gold Sentinel is sorcery speed. Okay, Adeline is big, but not too scary. Attacking with everything. So this is kind of fun. This game is going to have so much attacking and blocking until I find a Heartless Summoning or a Sibsig Ceremony. So what we can do here, we gotta kill the Gideon. I don't think we care about the Warden. Yeah, and then this way, everything dies. We get back the Perilous Myr. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. I think we're just dead, actually. Yeah, if this were an untapped land, we could have maybe looted with the vault. But yeah, it is what it is. Alright. Well, it was a good run. I'll probably do some commentary for the top 4. Congrats on our opponent for taking this one down. I mean, okay, we're still here. We might as well go through the motions. Maybe they misclick an attack funny. But looking pretty dead. And this is also a good showcasing of why you have to mulligan for the Heartless Summoning effects. Like, if we don't have the Heartless Summoning effects, we just... Like, we can do some neat stuff with Goblin Engineer, Recursion, but ultimately, we do just get punched in the face and die. Yep, second Sun Gold Sentinel. I mean, I'm just dead. They can... I can probably F6 here. We'll get a murder on the way out the door. Alright, GG's. Good luck in the top 4. And I'll see y'all in the wrap-up. Alright, so we made it to the top 8 and ended up getting knocked out by mono-white humans. They were on the play. That's pretty normal for the humans deck, if you ask me. They just kind of ran us over, which makes a lot of sense, and I'm pretty okay with. In terms of how the deck ran, I think it ran very well. I think Altar of the Brood is a bit messy in terms of a win condition, just because of how much time it takes to loop the mirrors until your opponent mills out, but I also don't know if there's anything better. Weatherlight Compleated, powerful as ever, impressive as ever. Realistically, the best kill condition is the Sibsig Ceremony. I'm still not convinced on the sideboard. I think the Heartless Act and the Nature's Ruin are both good. We didn't run into Nadu, which was surprising, but looking at the results, actually not too surprising. We were pretty highly seeded, and the Nadu decks did not do well. I think that was probably the most surprising thing about this tournament. I was expecting Nadu to come in, do well, and kind of dominate. But there were 0 Nadu decks in the top 8. So, still probably good to have these 2 Cursed Totems to and cover our bases with the Nadu deck, but I don't think we would need to worry about it too much. Like, the Nature's Ruin is good because it has that overlap with the Temur Battle Crier deck. What else? Chainsaw was pretty good. We didn't get to see the Dragon Engine pop up, but I think that this is a good sideboard option versus control. I'm not sold on the Funeral Rooms. I honestly just don't know what we would play instead. This season looks phenomenal. Like, if we pull up the Discord, or not the Discord, if we pull up the Gathering top 8 for this event, we've got Is It Tempo, Temur Battle Crier combo, Mono White Humans, another Temur Battle Crier combo, and Fires, Taking Turns, Red Deck Wins, Mono Blue Turbo, Emrakul. Because we got the Madness Emrakul. And actually, if you want to see this deck in action, you should go check out Tom Sonic's video, which he's releasing. He taped his entire run through the 500, and then we did a little bit of co-commentary there at the end. But yeah, so this season looking super spicy. I am excited to continue brewing. And the closest Nadu got to top 8 was 10th place. Who knows? Maybe Nadu will become the hero of the season and not the villain like everybody thought it was going to be. Regardless, I'm excited to see what everybody else comes up with. And so, let's kick it off. Happy brewing, everyone.